Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about season 2 of the show Blood of Zeus. Fun fact, this show was originally going to be titled Gods and Heroes. This season came out in 2024 and stars Derek Phillips, Elias Toufexis, and Jessica Henwick, and was created by Charley and Vlas Parlapanides. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Blood of Zeus Season 2 picks up right after the death of Zeus, and everyone is vying for the throne. The show puts a lot of focus on the relationship of Hades and Persephone this season, who want to get out of their own predicament, which forces Persephone to split her time with Hades and her mother, Demeter. Gaia keeps the Eleusinian stone safe so that whoever passes these trials that were set by her and Zeus will be granted the stone, which enhances their powers and makes them the ruler of Olympus. Blood of Zeus is an action adventure animated show. It has similar vibes to Castlevania, Avatar The Last Airbender, or Hercules. I love seeing media about Greek gods, and honestly, it can be a hit or miss, and thank God that this show was a hit. They're able to not only tell the story of a demigod who is promised to be great, but also use cool animation to show a variety of gods and their different abilities. While we are introduced to a lot of gods in season 1, some take bigger roles in season 2, like Hades, Persephone, Demeter, Athena, Apollo, and Hestia, to name a few. This show introduces you to some popular gods, but then introduces you to some that you may not be so familiar with. This season opens up with the events from the end of season 1, shown from a different perspective, while the final battle is going on, in which we see that Hestia, who is Zeus' sister, is trying to get the Eleusinian stone to Gaia. It was cool to see what was going on during this big battle and to see how Hades might not have been physically there, but he was definitely plotting all along. Heron is the protagonist, and in this season, we see him coming to grips with the fact that both of his parents are dead. His family hates him, but he also kind of hates them too, and he has the same powers as his father. If all of this wasn't enough, Gaia sends him on a mission that not only has him trying to make amends with his half brother who killed his mom and is a big reason that his dad is dead, and also potentially become the next ruler of Olympus. Time and time again, he shows that he is way different than the gods. He comes from humble beginnings and his outlook on everything is just completely different, but he also doesn't have anything to lose. Gaia has faith in him as a means to help the gods forge a better path, and he proves her right by learning to forgive and attempts to stop the cycle of violence and revenge. I could tell that he would be a good hero because he doesn't actually want to be a hero. He just kind of wants to protect the people he loves and he kind of wants to learn a little bit more about his family. I was sad that he died in the end, but I just know that this cannot be the end of his story. Alexia, who is an Amazonian, accompanies Heron, and while she might not have godly strength, she is really skilled at fighting and has a lot of wisdom. I love how she's kind of like that voice to ask Heron, are you sure this is the best option? Because although he is powerful, he is not invincible, and there are many better fighters than him. I love how she holds her own when they're in battle and does what needs to be done to ensure that the mission is a success. On the other end is Seraphim, who in season 1 is the big bad, and in this season we get a lot of backstory on him and why he became so hateful. In season 1, we get some of his backstory, but in this season there was more to explore, and we learn he was in love with someone who got killed, which only grew his hate, but it's also what Hades uses to manipulate him into helping him. In this season, he goes through a crisis because he is starting to not hate Heron as much, but then he has Hades whispering in his ear with promises to make his past lover have a better afterlife experience. Whether good or bad, he is a formidable foe and definitely someone you want on your side because this man knows how to fight and fights to kill. In the end, it seems like he and Heron can be allies, but it also just depends on if he will stay in the underworld or not. I think creating a compelling villain is just as important as creating a compelling hero. And I think that this show did a great job doing both and giving us time to explore both of their stories. Hera takes a backseat this season, as she should, and we see how she feels regret for her role in her husband's death. One thing that's always crazy to me is that Zeus is the one out here being a hoe, and every time I read about Hera, she is trying to punish his bastard kids. And I'm like, girl, it is not their fault. Go talk to your husband. In this season, she tries to take ownership of her role in this whole mess that has been created and to try and stop a war between the gods. But she can't even stop her annoying son Ares, let alone Hades or anyone else. We see more of Hades this season, and I enjoyed seeing how he and Persephone started their doomed relationship. As much as I hate Hades this season, he did get a shitty end of the deal. Twice. First, by his brothers, and second, by Demeter. He is bound to the underworld and can only leave for short periods of time, and his wife splits her time half with him and half with her mother due to her mother not liking the marriage. I know we can sit here and blame him for the events at the end of the season, but Demeter, Hera, and Zeus are all partly to blame for how his life has been post defeating Kronos. I loved him protecting Persephone from Ares and proving that he would do anything for her. This show does a great job of showing how the gods really only think of themselves and just have stupid squabbles amongst each other. There is just so much jealousy and jumping to conclusions, and I'm like, do y'all ever get tired? Do you ever just want to relax a bit? I think my favorite part of this season was the primordial goddess Gaia. She is the mother of the Titans, and in this season, she is trying to make the gods better by learning forgiveness and also following a plan to find the next leader of Olympus. Throughout the season, she seems like the voice of reason, but she doesn't intervene too much. However, she does guide Heron and gives him some hints on what he needs to do. I love that at the end we see her in the shadows smiling at Heron's speech about forgiveness, and then we see Hades stab him and she loses it. She is basically like, I'm so sick and tired of y'all, and it's not even just y'all that are doing this. It started with Zeus, and to be honest, the world would just be better without all of the Olympians, and calls on Typhon. Typhon was the name that they were saying that they did not want to say all season. So I just know it's bad if you can't even speak this thing's name. And for as cocky as all of these gods were and how much they like to fight, they were all running away. I'm interested to see what ends up happening in the future with her and if she will change her mind and help the Olympians. Battle of Zeus delivers a strong season 2 that takes us on another adventure and has me curious to see how it would all play out. It expanded on this universe without making the viewer feel overwhelmed and had me asking, why haven't we gotten more things about Greek heroes as good as this one? I really hope we get a season 3 because with that cliffhanger, I need to know what's going on next. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.